What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 trader with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. First things first, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. I hope everybody has had a good Valentine's Day today so far. Today is Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, and this is how we traded spot today. So, we didn't really know what to expect. There wasn't really any, or there weren't any big reports coming out after yesterday's big CPI day. No way of really knowing what's going to go on. And you know what? We go into the day, every single day, without a bias. Remember, folks, I had that bias a few days ago. Did not work out so well for me. But no bias today, no bias any day. Okay, so what we're going to look at, again, we're going to look at pre-market highs. So we've got a pre-market high sitting at 497.16. Pre-market low sitting down here at 497.38. So right out of the gun, I'm thinking, you know what? That's what, $2.80. $2.80 would give us a heck of a move for the day. But I wasn't done there setting my levels. I set the gap from yesterday. So I had the gap way down here at 494.08. So 494.08. So I thought, you know what? I've got levels down low. What would happen if I set a level up high? Coming into that 30-minute supply zone from a couple of days ago, before that big drop yesterday. So I went ahead and set that at 498.17. Now, throughout the day, we're going to use these different levels as targets. Now, we're going to use the 9 as support up to our target. We're going to use the 9 as resistance back down to our target. So that's how we play the 920. Also got some other levels in here. I've got a 5-minute early double top. This is actually going to be not from pre-market. I've got a 15-minute pre-market double bottom right here at 496.35. Let's see how that 35 level plays out throughout the day. Again, another 5-minute early double bottom. This is going to be from regular hours. A 30-minute supply zone from yesterday. So I've got this supply zone. So generally speaking, when you get to a supply zone, what happens is there's still sellers sitting up there, so they want to push it back down. Now, when we're below that, we can use that level as resistance. When we're above it, we're going to use that level as support. Got another supply zone sitting down here at this 495.25. And again, that is from yesterday also. Not a whole lot of room, 35 cents between these zones, but let's see if these made any difference throughout the day. Now, early this morning, I had to take my mom to the doctor, so I was not able to jump in on any of these plays. First play out of the gate, a nice move to the downside, got down to this 495.93. But again, that's an early 5-minute double bottom that was not there during pre-market. Now, we had all this noise over here in early pre-market, but again, I didn't have this line. This became a line, I think, right around this time. But again, I wasn't here taking mom to the hospital, or to the doctor, actually. Get that 2-week checkup. She had that surgery 2 weeks ago. So it just kind of bounced around. And I told the folks in the group, I said, okay, your key levels are a breach of pre-market high. So if you can get a breach and close up over that 497.13, maybe we got some room to the upside. Guess what, folks? It did. We get this cross to the upside over, actually just this test of the 920, this cross to the upside over this 497.13, and it ran up. It was a really, really nice play to the upside. Got up to almost 498 on that run to the upside. So again, nice run. Depending on where you caught it, maybe you caught it down here based on, you had support down here at this 496.35. Again, 15-minute double bottom. So if you played it here and rode it all the way to the top, congratulations. We had the cross over here. First green candle that closed was actually right here. So at 9:53, 23 minutes into the trading day, that took you all the way to the top, depending on how you were playing it. Okay, so then we had, and again, I hated missing these moves, but nevertheless, I did. There's plays that happen all the time, folks. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I was actually talking to a buddy of mine on the phone, taking my mom to the hospital, and I said, okay, there's a key level that you have to watch in here, because I saw this support, if you will, on the 1 minute driving down the road at 497.57. So I said, you know what, if we get across and close above 497.57, go short. You don't have a whole lot of risk. You can use your 9 as your resistance. So if you breach that 9 back to the upside, you can take the trade off the table. So we got that breach. We got that breach and that close below that 497.57 down to, I think, 52. See what it was. Right down here, 51.52. And he rode this thing. But what he did was he sold out at this level down here, 496.78, which again was a nice play off the top. I don't know, 75-cent play, which is a really, really nice play. Don't get me wrong. I think he got in on the recapture and rode this down again. Remember, all of these levels, folks, what we're trying to do is we're shooting for our levels, but we are using the 9 as our resistance on the way down. So if you get a candle that breaches, so it closes above the 9 on the way to one of our targets, you want to at least consider taking the trade off at that point. But we're breaching all these levels, got down to this, again, 30-minute supply zone. So again, supply zones, you think, you know what, there's still sellers there, but those sellers became buyers at some point. But those levels are still going to be important. So it kind of bounced around. At this time, I was getting back from taking my mom. Didn't take anything to the upside, but I thought, you know what? I like this level. Again, we're going to remember this level right here, 496.35. I said, you know what? If we can get a decent play in here, perhaps something like a double cross back to the downside, I'm going to take it. Now, I'm not a scalper. I like to stay in my plays longer than a lot of people. I'm not a scalper, but in this situation, I thought, you know what? Let's see if we can push through this 60 level back to the downside. So took this basically almost a triple cross. So we crossed the 9, the 20, and we got the cross of the 9 and the 20 on the same candle. So a triple cross to the downside. Took that, literally was in that trade for a minute and a half, maybe, somewhere right around in there. I saw that we were having a hard time getting back to this support at this 495.25. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take that trade off the table. I can always jump back in if we get any kind of a pattern that suggests we're going to take it back to the downside. And guess what? I did. So look at all these crosses, just a test of this level. Again, 495.93. Took it on the recapture. This is called a recapture back to the downside. You can call it a break and a retest. You can call it whatever you want. So we tested this 493 to the upside, got a close over that, came back down, recaptured the 9 back to the downside, used that as resistance back to the downside. I thought about taking the trade off the table at this 493.38, but I didn't. I thought, you know what? Maybe we can take out this gap. That's what I was kind of banking on. We didn't. I closed it out right around in here. But again, it was a really, really nice play back to the downside. So 2 quick trades. This one was a little bit longer. What was I in this trade? Maybe 9-10 minutes, 10 or 11 minutes, somewhere right around in there. Still a little bit shorter than normal for me, but nevertheless a decent trade. So you can look at these crosses and how these crosses played out, folks. You can take every single cross to the upside and every single cross to the downside, and there is absolutely an expected gain. Now, you're going to have losses. You're going to have plenty of losses. But by doing so, you're saying, you know what, if I get a cross, I'm going to take it. Obviously, within reason, you want to make sure you get confirmation. Your best plays, generally speaking, your best plays for calls are going to be directly above a major level of support, and you get a cross to the upside. Okay, so that's what we are aiming for. Now, our best plays to the downside, we want that cross to the downside, and we want to be directly below a major level of resistance. By doing that, we can better predefine our risk before we go into the play. Let's say it's 10 cents. 10 cents is literally nothing. So if it breaches in the opposite direction, you know exactly where you're going to get out. So we want to cross to the upside directly above a major level of support and across to the downside directly below a major level of resistance. And then we watch that 9 and we play the 9 and trust it wherever it takes us, folks. We need to have targets, but we're going to trust that 9 to get us where we want to go. What you can do, what I recommend to a lot of traders, is to switch time frames. Look at your 2-minute, your 3-minute, or your 5-minute, and see if they agree. Number one, you want those to agree with the play. But by watching the higher time frames, there's an awful lot less noise in the candlesticks, and you're less likely to get shaken out by a single candle that doesn't go your way. Anyway, here we go, back to that next cross to the upside. Guess what? Guess who didn't take it? Nope, I didn't take any of that business in there. Didn't take anything. But again, beautiful, beautiful cross to the upside off of this pre-market low. Just busting through levels left and right. We eventually got up to VWAP. Took a trade up. I didn't take it up to VWAP, but there were plenty of traders in the group that did. Had a lot of stuff going on today. Nevertheless, I didn't. But I did, however, take this next cross back up to the upside. Had one of our members say, "What did you like about that 495.93?" Well, I liked it due to the fact that, number one, we had a cross to the upside and we had made a higher high, we'd made a higher low. Okay, directly into that level of support, again, at 495.60. So 495.60, and I told the folks, I said, listen, if we can hold on to 495.60, we're going to 495.93. If we reach that, let's look at 35, and then let's look at 78. If we can get 78, let's look for 497.13. And again, these are the same levels that have been on my chart literally all day, with the exception of this 5-minute early double top and this 5-minute early double bottom. So other than these levels right here, and you can see how important these become, these levels have been on my chart throughout the day. So anyway, took this trade to the upside again and closed out. Probably should have closed out up here at the pre-market high, but I thought, you know what? Let's see if we can push up a little bit higher. Anyway, took that trade to the upside again. Nice little trade. And again, here we go, Scalp City. I did the same thing back to the downside. Actually, I was just getting off the phone. I had a phone call. And I just got off the phone call and I said, guys, we got a short opportunity, and literally a 1-minute trade. So again, this doesn't happen very often where I just scalp these little plays, but it happened there. And again, I said, folks, okay, sure, here's a good continuation play to the downside. We're looking for VWAP. So I closed it on VWAP, tested this 9 again, came back down, got a close below VWAP. So remember, folks, when we are above VWAP, VWAP acts as support. When we're below, it acts as resistance. So in this play right here, I said, folks, if we get a close below VWAP, let's see if we can take it down to these levels down here. So we've got this, 495.93, 495.60, and then ultimately 495.25. And I'm still thinking, you know what, let's get down to that pre-market low and maybe take out the gap. Didn't happen. Absolutely did not happen. I was in this trade for just a few minutes, and then we got across to the upside. Played it up here until we touched this 9, and I thought, you know what? That's probably good enough for me. Now, we're getting fairly late in the day. We got about 2 hours left in the trading day at this point. I'm thinking, you know what? I probably had enough today, so I'm done for the day. But look what she did. We got this cross to the upside. Tested again, 497.13, 497.13. We got another cross to the upside right in here, folks. POC at this point was right around here, 470 or 496.79. So at POC, when you're above it, it's kind of like VWAP. And here's the POC right now. It's this gold line. So when you're above POC, it acts as support, just like VWAP does, or the 200 if you're trading the 200. So once we get above VWAP or above POC, we use that as support. And it was a really, really nice setup in here because we had a cross to the upside and we were above POC, but I didn't take it. It was getting pretty late in the day. So I said, you know what? I'm good. I'm good for the day. We had a couple of our members take it, and it was an absolute banger, banger, banger back to the upside. I was talking to a really good friend of mine, and he happened to be in this trade. I think he got in right around here, right around 3 o'clock, somewhere right around in here. And he's riding this thing up. And I said, hey, watch this level right in here. Watch 497 or 498.17. If we can get to that level, again, that's that 30-minute supply zone. Consider taking your trade off the table. And he says, man, I want more out of this thing. I want more. And I said, okay, well, we hit our level. So I don't know what you're looking for. And we breached that 9 back to the downside. We actually breached the 20, but there were two levels that I was looking at, folks. Remember that 497.57 level from earlier? That's that same level that I said, okay, watch that 57 level. If you get a breach below that 57 level, you absolutely positively have to take yourself out of that trade. Only because, number one, we're below the 20. And we could see more momentum to the downside, taking us down to maybe even perhaps 497.13. But he rode this thing, caught that nest. He was still in this play. He stayed in this play. He 3x'd this play on a very, very inexpensive single SPY contract. I think he took that SPY contract from 47 cents to $1.55. So it was a 3 times play. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than a 3x play, particularly late in the day. So here is the issue with late in the day plays, folks. Now, by the time he got up into this area right here, he was deep in the money. I looked at his delta. So delta is basically the rate of change for your money. So for that first dollar move, we're looking for generally a 0.5 delta on calls, a negative 0.5 delta on puts. So essentially for that first dollar move, you're going to gain approximately 50 cents. When he got up in this range up in here, his delta was like 0.88. So I told him, I said, okay, you're still in this play. Your delta has gone up to 0.88. So at that point, he moved up. And again, he sold it out right in here for a 3 times gain. But again, beautiful move based on both support and resistance and the 920. So he rode the 920 and trusted support down here at 497.57. So he trusted that. I talked to him right after market close, and he said, you're the only reason why I stayed in that trade, because you said I had that support at 57. If we breach 57, I'm out. It was still a good trade, but he trusted that level. And I'm glad it worked out for him. Very glad it worked out for him. Now, looking at the higher time frames, like the 5-minute, it tested the 9 a little bit, but it didn't breach back to the downside. So he had safety in that play. So that's how she played out today, folks. It was a really, really good day. Made some good trades. The 920, it's a wonderful strategy, folks. It is a really, really nice strategy. As long as you execute, you have to execute. You must execute according to your trading plan. So if you're interested in the 920 trading strategy, head on over to 920trading.com. And feel free to sign up for our newsletter. It comes out every Saturday. The strategy is there from A to Z. Everything about the strategy is there. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a strategy. It's just, you just don't have to do it. Everything you've ever wanted to learn about anything is available if you'll just spend enough time digging for that information. Now, if you like our content, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications. That way, when we drop new content, you're going to be one of the first to know. Also, leave us a comment. We like the comments. We greatly appreciate it. Now, if you're interested in live daily trading, so every single day from bell to bell, every single day, we do live daily trading. And it's at our Discord. It's called Trading Decoded. The link for that is down below, as is the link for 920trading.com. But at any rate, folks, that's how she played out today. A little scratch in the throat. That's how she played out today. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon. We've got reports coming out tomorrow morning, folks. And they happen, once again, they happen in pre-market. So be aware of what's going on in pre-market, and then whatever happens at open, happens at open. We're going to trade the chart as we see fit tomorrow. However it plays out, it plays out. But again, thanks for spending your time today with us. We appreciate you very much. Have a great rest of the day. Happy Valentine's Day. And we will see you in the markets.